All right. Let's get going. Let's get talking about the weather. Actually, let's go back a little bit here. Yeah, that's good. So creaky. Oh, let me get on that. What's going on, guys? Yeah, not only were you first, you were in the first, within the first like 10 seconds. Is that all snow and stuff? Yeah, this is the latest GFS. That's the update. That is the latest update. What's our Enzo doing? Some funny stuff. We'll get started here in a second. Let me go put my coffee and my energy drink back. Yeah, hold up, guys. Hold up. I'm back. What's going on, guys? What's going on, Allie? First, good morning. Northeast snow forecast. We'll get to that in a second. Did my video post yet? Or is it posting at 8:30? It's posting at 8:30. Okay. Okay. Here's the latest GFS. Yeah, 06Z did some funny things, guys. Did some funny things out there, out east. Did some funny things out there. You know, we'll see. This is too far out, but I believe that we'll have a like I said, a winter storm track pattern out there as we move through into the second week of December, mid-December. I believe it. Confused Blom, Marissa, what's going on? What program or website are you using? Weatherbell. Radar Omega. There's what's actually going on. There's our storm up there. It's going to head towards the upper Midwest. Weather-wise. Pivotal weather. Here's our there is our 6 to 10 day forecast. There's our 8 to 14 day forecast. I do believe with this 8 to 14 day forecast though, this warm air is up front. I think in those last 3 days of that 8 to 14 day forecast, again, this is going to be cooler air in the mid-Atlantic as we push into the second week of November. December, I mean, as we push into the second week of December. 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook. You're all getting wet. 8 to 14 day as well. Above average precipitation for everyone, except for you folks. All right, give me a second. Notifications. All right. So, how's everything going, guys? Should we get started? I think we should get started. All right, let's go over the latest GFS. I'm going to go over all the new stuff, and then I'll take questions. 06Z, maybe happy. The 18Z from last night, maybe sad. We're going to go over the GFS first, and I'll get to all your questions. GFS in Euro. Morning, nerds. What's going on, Emmanuel? Here we go. Severe weather down in the south, guys, today and tomorrow. Really quickly, just so you guys are aware of this. Here's what's going on with that. Large categorical risk down here today. Pretty decent. Marginal to slight risk down here. That includes, it's just to the northeast of San Antonio. It runs through Houston. Dallas, Fort Worth, you're partially in that. New Orleans, you're close to that marginal as well. And then we have the majority of Mississippi, far west central. Alabama's in this, and then southern Arkansas. Now, tornado, here's our main kind of, main thing we're paying attention to. Tornado risk. 2 to 5% chance. Stretching from Dallas, Fort Worth, down out to Houston, through most of the state of Louisiana, and then through most of the state of Mississippi, again, west central Alabama. So make sure you have your alerts on if you're down here. Eastern Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, southern Arkansas, western Alabama. Make sure you have your weather alerts on today. Okay, GFS moving forward. We got some snow moving into the northern Rockies, northern plains, Minnesota, including Minneapolis. 1 to 3 inches. It depends how quickly that rain turns to snow, but we're likely to get accumulation across much of the Minneapolis metro. And then as we get into the day before Thanksgiving, lots of moisture running up the East Coast. We're getting pretty warm here. But here comes all the cold air for Thanksgiving. Boom, we're freezing out here. We're freezing out here Thanksgiving evening. Here you go. Most of us in this region are cold Thanksgiving evening. And then here we go. Moving a little bit farther, and then we start to see some moisture clash to our polar jet. You can see our baroclinic boundary here starts to have some snow showing up. The polar jet thinks we get a little bit of a ridge trying to push up here. So instead of that snow continuing down into the Ohio Valley, it gets stuck up here in the northern plains and Midwest. Although I will say the European sees this snow beginning to dive down, and then it actually begins to fall out here in the Midwest. So Euro and GFS actually don't fully agree on this. You can see that the GFS wants to push it back up in Minneapolis. This would just be big snow, maybe even a little ice, but big snow for Minneapolis if the GFS is correct. We're talking about 1 to 2 feet over the next 7 or 8 days. This would also set up a lot of severe weather back down here, November 30th, December 1st, as we get into the beginning of next week. Another burst of cold air. And then the GFS does like the thought, again, by the way, as this moves through the day after Thanksgiving, tons of lake effect snow for western Michigan, inner New England. Lots of lake effect snow, Thanksgiving. As we get into early to mid next week, here's what's interesting. Our polar jet begins to line up into a favorable pattern for mid-Atlantic. Coastal mid-Atlantic and New England snow, you get moisture pushing up against our cold air here, and you could get some snow through this region. Watch what happens on the GFS. There it is. There's a snowstorm through the mid-Atlantic, New England, and then you get another one right behind it, right there. Kind of a nor'easter type setup. Possible, the way our polar jet's setting up, possible. Don't pay attention to this yet. We don't know if we're going to have TCG. We don't know if we're going to have a tropical system yet, but it's possible as well. Anyways, let's take a look how the Euro sees it. I'll get to your questions here in a second. Latest European run. Again, we'll start with the 06Z on the Euro. What the heck? And here we go. Good snow, again, for some decent stuff in the northern plains. Minnesota, Wisconsin. Severe weather down in the south, but watch what happens here. This is where the GFS and Euro don't agree. The Euro starts to bring snow down here to the south, into Nebraska, into Iowa, and then it continues out into the Midwest. There it goes. Chicago, Detroit, Indianapolis, Columbus, maybe even Cincinnati, Louisville, Des Moines, Milwaukee. Okay, it gives all you a chance for snow here, and then if this flattens out enough, it would give a chance for mid-Atlantic snow as well. That's the Euro. The GFS, again, you saw what the GFS did. The GFS takes that snow and keeps it up to the north here. The Euro brings it down like this. So this is more The Euro actually favors, and luckily for you, the Euro does a little bit better of a job, but the Euro actually favors more snow for like the Midwestern region. Celtic, I appreciate you. Leanne, what's going on? Yali, Pipple Jasmine, Leanne, Blue. Holy crap. Gage, what's going on, guys? Appreciate you guys. Let me go to the 00Z of the Euro. So, yeah, but much better snow for a lot of people. This could be some severe weather, big winter storm mess out here, too, on the Euro. As we get into December 1st, next Monday, early next week. Tons of cold air out here. Again, as we get into early next week. Lots of cold air out here. And some good snow on the Euro, by the way, this weekend. Some good snow for the Rockies, by the way, this weekend on the Euro. Oh, my neck hurts. Stretch. But yeah, as we push forward a little bit more, this is going to be more lake effect snow potential on the Euro as we get into the middle of next week. And then the Euro does have interest. You know, this is interesting because this right here could end up being snow again for the Midwest, the Mid-Atlantic, and the New England coast, Mid-Atlantic coast, New England coast, Midwest, because you have moisture pushing up against, again, your polar jet here. If these can interact if these can interact correctly at the right time, at the right place, you could get a snow boundary right through here on the European. The GFS sees this becoming snow. The Euro sees our polar jet doing the same exact thing as the GFS out here, kind of diving down and then swooping across the country, which would give you a chance for snow on the north end of this. So we'll see over the next model runs, over the next few days, if the Euro starts to agree with the GFS and it wants to put snow down out here through this region, including potentially coastal Mid-Atlantic, coastal New England. We'll see. But again, I expect that setup for snow out there in the Mid-Atlantic and New England to start to, or coastal Mid-Atlantic, coastal New England, to start to enhance and look a little bit better as we get into the second week of December. I'll get to your questions in 1 second, guys. Here's the latest snow totals on the GFS, obviously being very generous towards the coast of New England and the Mid-Atlantic here, putting snow down DC, Baltimore, Philly, New York City, Boston. But we'll see more towards the end of the run. GFS being super aggressive for Minneapolis still, putting down some good snow in Chicago, putting down some good snow in Detroit, putting down some good snow in Indianapolis potentially, Columbus, Ohio, Cleveland, Des Moines, getting a lot of people involved here. Some good snow in the Rockies, Northern Plains, and along the Sierra Nevadas, Cascades, and then inner New England as well. Lots of lake effect snow here on the GFS. The Euro, this is just in the short term, by the way. This is just over like the next 6 days on the Euro. Look at the snow through this region here. Again, Des Moines, Chicago, Indianapolis, Detroit, Milwaukee, Minnesota, or Minneapolis, Fargo, Sioux Falls. A lot of snow here in the short term on the European. If we go back to the 00Z, the latest on the Euro, it really keeps that snow out in that region, but it does add a little bit of snow out here in the Rockies. But again, if we get that rainfall, if we get that moisture a little bit farther north, a little bit farther north, this could end up being a strip of snow right through here. That's what the GFS sees, the snow right through here, which does include kind of the Mid-Atlantic, Philly, Baltimore, and stuff like that, New York City. But again, we have to have that moisture interacting with our jet correctly here. So we'll watch this region and see if, on the Euro if it starts to agree with the GFS. Euro AI does see some snow out here. Interestingly enough, it actually takes it farther off the coast, so it is seeing the opportunity up there up the East Coast as we get into the second week of December. Puts a lot of snow through the Southern Plains. Rockies, again, really loves the upper Midwest, Chicago, Milwaukee as well, Minneapolis, and then Panhandle of Texas. Maybe Lubbock gets involved. The European AI thinks there's a possibility there. Almost here. I'm almost to the point where I'm going to take your questions. Let's take a look at the latest HRRR. We'll quickly move up into the upper Midwest. Here you go. Latest HRRR does think 1 to 2 inches is going to fall over the next 48 hours in Minneapolis. Some good snow for northern Wisconsin, and then you look up towards the north central region, North Dakota, get some good snow, northeastern. And I said this yesterday. The HRRR showed no snow here yesterday, and I said the HRRR is on crack. There it goes. It corrected itself. It was obvious. It was going to correct itself. We're going to get a little bit of snow up here in northeastern South Dakota. I don't know what the HRRR was seeing yesterday. I swear, sometimes some of these runs, you know you can just laugh them off and wait until it fixes itself on the next one. Canadian, 1 to 2 inches, Minneapolis as well. NAM 3K. 1 to 2 inches, Minneapolis, by the way. And then you got Canadian. Actually, your Canadian short range is doing wild stuff right now. Put maybe 3 inches down in Minneapolis. Okay, really quickly, let's take a look at our teleconnections, and then I'm going to get to answering questions. European weeklies. Average to below average, Arctic oscillation. This is fine. Our polar jet is collapsed. Okay. Sudden stratosphere. We just had the earliest sudden. We are currently in the earliest sudden stratospheric warming event in recorded history in the satellite era since the early 60s. And you can see that when you look at, I think it's right here. Oh yeah, here's our graph cast. Actually, let me take a look at this real quick, guys. Sorry, almost done, and I'm gonna get to your questions. WGFS, yeah. Yeah, here's a look at the graph cast. The graph cast does completely agree with actually the Euro putting that snow down into potentially Chicago, Detroit, Des Moines, maybe even Columbus, Indianapolis, stuff like that. There it is. So that's interesting. Let's look at the short term on this. Yeah, the GraphCast does like good snow or decent snow into Minneapolis as well, so that's interesting. Okay, but that's not what I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you, and why does it keep taking away my bookmark bar? That is so annoying. I wanted to show you guys this. Polar vortex winds. They're collapsed, okay? Our stratospheric polar vortex is collapsing. This is what's going to bring crazy cold as we approach the second week of December down into the States, even colder than what we're about to see. This is a stratospheric polar vortex collapse. It's done. It could even stall or reverse here. Last thing, teleconnections, AO, neutral. Eastern Pacific oscillation. This is our, now we're talking about our Alaskan ridge. Nice Alaskan ridge over the next maybe 2 weeks. Thinks we're going to actually bump up here. This could actually lead to a lot of snow in the Rockies right here, mid-December. We're going to have to see about that, just letting you know. NAO, this is great. This is for my eastern people, mid-Atlantic coast, New England coast, southeast if you want some snow. Right here, second week, out through Christmas, the NAO wants to go negative. That's great for cold air and storm tracks out there for the east. So not too bad to see that. Our PNA wants to stay pretty negative. This is good because if you have a negative WPO, you have a negative EPO, you have a PNA that stays negative, you can get that cold and snow pushing through the west and then transitioning across the plains and all the way out towards east. This favors snow and cold from coast to coast, not just favoring one side of the country. Our WPO is, I think, absolutely on crack, but we'll all take this because it's good for the States. High latitude blocking all the way through January. Cold air. More cold air, more snow opportunities down in the States. So we like to see it. We like to see it. Did I miss anything before I take questions? Did I miss anything? By the way, you want to see what our Canadian thinks for the month of December? Well, there's December, January, February, by the way. Here's what it thinks for winter. Low average. Includes mid-Atlantic there, by the way. But no, we want to look at monthly. Here's our December forecast. I agree with this more than NOAA. NOAA, there's our average to below average temperatures. NOAA thinks this is going to be above average in December right here. I think the, mid to late December is going to transition this into average to below average out there, mid-Atlantic region. So anyways, I'm going to answer questions. Just give me 1 second to breathe because that was a lot. Give me 1 second to breathe. That was a lot of talking. Oh, 1 second. Let me stretch and then I'll answer questions. That was a lot of talking. Ugh. Redbird, Gage, Leanne, appreciate you guys. What's going on, Kim? What's going on, Emmanuel? Is Louisville looking good for second half of December? I think so, yes. Yes. WGFS, yes. How's it looking for Kansas? A little bit better as we push, as we clear the next 10 days. You guys might get a little bit of ice over the next 10 days. Is Dallas looking cold? You're going to get shots of cold air down in Dallas. You're going to get shots of cold air down in Dallas. Here you go. Shot of cold air right here as we get into Thanksgiving. Maybe a little bit of a warm-up, and then another shot of cold air right here as we get into middle of next week, and then a little warm-up, and then another shot of cold air as we get into next weekend. You see, just constant shots of cold air. Look at all this cold air continuing to funnel into the States. The big winner here with cold air over the next 3 weeks is going to be this area, though. In particular, I think this area. Well, I think this area. I'm going to go to my national blend of models really quickly. I'm going to keep answering questions. National blend. Again, the national blend of models is going to be very cautious with snowfall. I add like 4 to 6 inches to the forecast because it has to account for models that don't show snow. This is the most conservative model, meaning this is going to show you less snow than it's going to fall likely. Local stations said that central to western Maryland could get 20 to 40 inches this year. Do you agree? I think 20 inches. I think it'll clear 20. 40? I don't know about 40. I think it'll clear 20. 20 to 30, yeah. Timeline for Houston today? Severe weather-wise? Sure. Let's go look at that. Here you go. Here's the latest for Houston. It really looks like the worst of it isn't going to get out there until maybe midnight, 1 a.m. Let's say watch out from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. 10 p.m. tonight to 2 a.m. tomorrow. You could get some discrete action, though. You can see some of these cells pushing up early today. It's possible some of these push up through Houston. So I almost just drew something really funny. It's possible some of those push up through Houston early in the day. The latest HRRR doesn't really see any sort of severe until later, but you could get a discrete cell that moves through earlier in the day. So watch out for that as well, but I think it's more of a late event. Let's take a look at the Rufus 12Z. See, the Rufus does give you an opportunity for some supercells early on, but these look to stay to the northwest of Houston. It agrees, I think, with the HRRR. Boom. There we go. As we get into 10, 11, midnight, 1, 2, 3 a.m. There we go. It's late and early. Late Monday, early Tuesday. There it is. Moving to Houston, you could have some supercells then, obviously. We got a threat up here. Severe weather threat. Tornado threat today, by the way, guys. If I didn't go over that. I went over it in my video. I don't think I just went over it when I talked about everything. There's our severe threat for today. Eastern Texas, most of Louisiana, most of Mississippi, southern Arkansas, west central Alabama. Here's our tornado threat for today as well. If you're in this region, just have alerts on, guys. Don't be dumb. Have alerts on. Have alerts on. This is the farther east you are out here. This area is going to be more of a nocturnal threat. Earlier in the day, I think for these regions, or not earlier in the day, but afternoon, evening, this area is going to have a little bit of a nocturnal threat. So just be aware of that. Detroit snow, how much and when? Well, it depends what model you look at. When the national blend sees you getting snow, that's a good thing. It sees you in the blue because that means the models have some confidence on it. The European likes snow pretty quickly. The European likes snow. You can see it moving into Detroit right there. We're talking as we get into this upcoming Saturday. 5 to 6 days out. But if the GFS, if it goes in the direction of the GFS, this snow is going to miss you to the north like this. The GFS keeps the snow up here. The Euro puts the snow down here. So we need probably 48 more hours to figure out which one we're going to favor there. Will Cuba get hit in December with the storm? I don't think so. What are you talking about? This thing down here? Let's go. Let's take a look. Here's the latest GFS. Tropical cyclogenesis actually happens only out about 180 hours. I can start to maybe believe this. TCG about 180 hours out. You get a Cat 2, Cat 3 slamming into the coast down here. Where are we down here? Honduras, Yucatan Peninsula, 983. That'd be like a Cat 2. It moves, and then it hits Cuba, Cat 2. I don't believe this yet. I don't believe anything I see here. And then it has it as like a Cat 3 floating around in the Caribbean. I don't believe this yet. Don't worry. We don't even see TCG again till if we see this tomorrow, tropical cyclogenesis tomorrow, I think the National Hurricane Center is going to highlight this area, and then we'll start talking about it. NHC still saying we don't fully believe that this is going to occur. We also have such an aggressive, I mean, Cuba may have to worry, but United States, we have such an aggressive troughing pattern here. Winter storm pattern that's going to likely shear any storm that heads towards the U.S., any hurricane. We are still in hurricane season. Any storm that heads towards the U.S., it'll likely steer it away, shear it to pieces, weaken it. But yes, Cuba, I'd keep an eye open. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Let's see if the National Hurricane Center labels our potential tropical system down there in the Caribbean tomorrow. Local meteorologist forecasting 16 to 22 inches for winter for Louisville. Yeah, I think you could get more than that. How confident are you that we'll break down the southeastern ridge? I think we will, at least somewhere around the third week of December. But in a La Nina, and especially a weak La Nina, that's a normal thing to have a southeastern ridge. So even if we break it down, it's probably going to come back. But you'll have opportunities when it does break down to get, who knows, a little bit of cold snow down there, or early season cold and snow down there. Snow for North Oklahoma anytime soon. The European ensemble gives you a chance, or the European AI model gives you a chance for northern Oklahoma snow in about 10 to 14 days. So we'll see if that verifies. Yeah, I mean, you have some models entertaining it. A lot of these models like Omaha as well. Look at this. GFS for Omaha. The Euro put some snow down in Omaha. The Canadian put some snow to the south of Omaha. That'd actually probably be in Omaha. European AI put some snow down in Omaha. But we'll see because it puts a lot of snow down in Omaha, actually. We'll see what happens here. Here's the Euro. Omaha may end up in ice. I have a feeling Omaha is going to end up with ice. But definitely snow chances in the short term here. You know what I mean? I do think this is what pops into my head right now when I'm thinking about Omaha, okay? Just real quick. This is what pops into my head right now when I'm thinking about Omaha. You guys know what the name of this copyright. Yeah, that's what I think about Omaha. Ice, ice, baby. Watch out. Could get some ice storms through here over the next 2 weeks. Hopefully it's snow, though. Come on, Polar Jet, amplify enough. If it's amplified enough, it's all snow for Omaha. But we'll see. Anyways. Delaware, you probably want to wait at least 10 to 14 days for this track to set up over you. Again, we see the GFS and Euro both see an opportunity for mid-Atlantic snow, Delaware snow, around December 7th through the December 9th. So we'll watch that time frame. B, what's going on? You said no stop. Guilt, appreciate you. Punch, what's going on? And Deke, appreciate you. Indianapolis outlook for this weekend. Interesting outlook. See, this weekend, the GFS thinks all that snow's going to the north. Look what happens on the Euro this weekend. Indianapolis, I'm talking to you. Look what happens on the Euro this weekend. Let's go to 24-hour. Here we go. Getting to Saturday. Uh-oh. Boom. If you're in Indianapolis, your best friend is the Euro right now. The Euro wants to give you a foot of snow this weekend. New Jersey, again, we're going to want to get about 10 to 14 days out. We see an opportunity for snow at the end of the first week of December. December 7th, December 9th, that time frame. We'll have probably a nice Polar Jet setup, something like this, and we're just going to have that moisture connecting with this jet here to get some snow through the mid-Atlantic there. We'll see if we can confirm that. We can see if we can get that to verify. What's going on, Andrea? Georgia, you've got a little bit of southeastern ridge for a while. We're going to want to wait probably mid to late December for Georgia snow. But you will get some good cold air on Thanksgiving, and through the beginning of December, we'll have some good pushes of cold air down there in Georgia. Andrea, I appreciate you. Is that strat warming still happening? Oh, yeah, 1,000%. I mean, it already happened. Our winds are supposed to be up here in the stratosphere. For the coldest air on the planet to be held over the North Pole, this is where you want your winds at least up here. Look where they are. They're almost not moving, and they might reverse. Yeah, it already happened. We just had the earliest sudden stratospheric warming event in recorded history in the satellite era, potentially in the last 100 years. There might have been one or two in the 50s, but they can't confirm it, or in the 50s, but they can't confirm it because we didn't have satellites back then. Because they were too dumb to make satellites back then, but we're so smart now. When will Huntsville, Alabama get snow in December? I can't tell you. There's going to be a big ridge down there over Alabama for a little bit. Yeah, you probably don't have an opportunity until at least the third week of December, but there will be probably some opportunities that present themselves in late December for Alabama, Georgia. Grand Rapids, Michigan. Good lake effect snow in the short term here. Well, we'll have to see this. Does the HRRR show us out there yet? Does the HRRR get us into... Not quite yet. HRRR is being very nice to Minneapolis, by the way, and I like the HRRR with snow. I hate the NAM is so stupid, but we'll look at the NAM. Yeah, the NAM is so stupid. Okay, you know what? If we end up getting a half inch of snow in Minneapolis, just a half inch, I'll start talking crap. I'll start following the NAM's guidance. All right. But yeah, lake effect snow's coming. Lake effect, and like, why is, and like, why? What is the NAM doing here? Why is the NAM putting no snow along the coast here and putting the lake effect into here? Hello? Like, what? That's not how it works. You get more near the coast. I mean, yeah, you can have a little bit of warm air that maybe keeps this as a little bit of rain, but I mean, this air is going to be freezing. NAM is always up. NAM is so bad with snow. I was using the NAM a lot in early winter last year, and it failed me like 3 times in a row, and I said I'm never using the NAM again for snow. Luckily, I was using the trends, and I was comparing it to other models, and the NAM kept being the only one that showed stupid stuff, so I kind of was understanding that the NAM was really messing up early season. But, yeah, man, it's so bad. It's so bad. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys. North American model? Oof. Oof, we should change the name. We don't want that. We don't want that with our name on it. We don't want North American's name on it. All right. Anyways, sorry. Let me get back here. Let's keep answering questions. St. Louis. Again, the Euro gives you a better opportunity than the GFS here in the short term this weekend. Does the Euro put a little bit of snow into St. Louis this weekend? It does. The Euro puts about 6 to 9 inches. 6 to 9 inches into St. Louis this weekend. So in about 48 hours, our models will align on that snow moving like this or that snow moving like this. Those are the two kind of options. And if it does take the Europeans route, we'll have a chance for maybe a little bit of a mid-Atlantic slush, tiny bit of snow, dusting, I think. Here's the Euro. That snow dives down and boom, starts heading towards the Midwest. It gets a little bit into St. Louis there. And then here is our GFS again. It has that snow coming down and then actually just lifting. This ridge punches up and says, no snow for you, Missouri. Weird. That's only about 140 hours out that they're in such a disagreement. Tomorrow, once we get near 100 hours, they'll have to agree. They'll have to get into some sort of agreement. I think they'll probably favor the Euro. So, but we'll see. I would like it to favor the GFS. More snow for Minneapolis. More snow for me. I'm 1 state, 2 south in Kentucky for snow in the short. Wait, what? I'm 1 state to south in Kentucky for snow in the short term. Okay, rephrase that. The Euro came through this morning. How long till the GFS caves? I know, right? Although, by the way, the GFS was correct, though, about what's happening with our Minnesota storm. The Euro saw it just staying up in Canada. So with this, the GFS won the forecasting battle with this storm. So maybe it wins 2 in a row. Who knows? Do you think we're going to get snow in Denver? You have some good opportunities for snow in Denver. Some low elevation snow out here on the Euro this weekend, potentially. Okay, stop. I'm so sick and tired of all these spam calls. There you go. Another good opportunity for snow into Denver as we get into late next week, December 4th. The GFS sees the opportunity for snow in the first week of December through low elevation, low land, the plains, and Colorado as well. So, yeah, not a bad forecast, not a bad short to mid-range forecast for Denver snow here. These are all shots of snow for the Rockies too. There's a shot of snow for the Rockies right there. There's a shot of snow for the Rockies there. There's a shot of snow for the Rockies there. There's a shot of snow for the Rockies there. Then maybe here. So it does look pretty decent for snow through the central Rockies, central and northern Rockies over the next 2 weeks. Yeah, no problem. No problemo. When do you think New Jersey snow? When do you think New Jersey will snow the most? Late December. Mid to late December. Corliss. Is that how you pronounce it? Corliss? Corliss? I appreciate you. Thank you guys. Appreciate the follows too. Any snow coming to upstate New York? Yeah, there's some opportunities here. Again, as we get to the second week of December, definitely some opportunities. So we could get some really good, I mean, Great Lakes region of upstate New York has a really good chance for some good lake effect snow late this week into this weekend. Yeah, you have like 4 or 5 Colorado snowstorms in the next 2 weeks on the GFS and Euro. So 1 or 2 of them are likely to verify. Is the next week? Yeah. The Euro sees really nice snow into Chicago this weekend. Really nice snow into Chicago. We'll see, guys. Let's wait like 24, 48 hours for that to be in forecasting range. I mean, it's in medium range forecasting range, but short-term forecasting range, 24, 48 hours. We might be able to verify some nice snow in Chicago. How long is this ridge in the southeast, North Carolina, going to hold? It's not really completely holding right now. I mean, this is going to be cold air into the Carolinas. And then the ridge sets up right out here, December 1st. I think it's going to hold for about 2 weeks. You'll get shots of cold air, but it will move right out, and the ridge will push back up. Late December, I think that ridge is going to be gone for a little bit. What are my thoughts on Minnesota? We could have a record-breaking December snowfall-wise. That's my thoughts. Now, it all depends on the storm track, though. We're going to be so cold up here in December. So cold up here in December. But, you know, what happens is then if your bear clinic zone is just because it's so cold up here, your bear clinic zone stays farther to the south, all that moisture stays to the south. You don't want it to be too cold. You want a little bit of warm air pushing up against southern Minnesota to give you those big snow chances, kind of like with what we see on the latest GFS, where you have that bear clinic zone pushing up against right there, pushing up against southern Minnesota, and then you get just a blizzard. You get like a foot or two across the state, because you have a little bit of warm air and moisture pushing up against it. You kind of want those type of opportunities. You see it here again as that snow starts to push up there to the north. So the European may have too cold of an outlook for us right now, but I mean, you see tons of snow chances for Minnesota, the upper Midwest right now through December. So I'm going to New Jersey the 27th through the 2nd. No, I don't think we're going to get snow in New Jersey in that time frame. There's maybe a small chance. There's maybe a small chance December 1st if the jet decides to stay flatter. There's mid-Atlantic snow December 1st, but I'm not too bullish on that quite yet. But I guess maybe a small chance December 1st, December 2nd, but we'll see. Not too high of a chance yet. We need to see some models that see that polar jet buckling. All the snow looks to be just north of Kentucky in the short term. Yeah, it does. I know. Touch GFS, we will win. When do you think the snow will hit New Jersey? Not until at least, there's a small chance we get some New Jersey snow in the first couple of days of December, but we have to see our models. Again, buckle the jet a little bit more out to the east. We'll have to see if that verifies. But I think at least second and third week of December, you start getting some good chances for Jersey. Driving from Buffalo to Boston, 12-14. Too far out to see what it's going to be like at that time frame. Guys, I do have to get off here. I'll try to do a little bit of stream later. I've been doing kind of an afternoon, evening, quick stream each day. But again, I appreciate you hopping in here, engaging in the chat, helping the algorithm. Appreciate any of the gifts, follows. If you want to join the Climate Crew, there's a link to the Discord right down in the description. Mods, I appreciate you. You're awesome. The Discord's updated with all the stuff. Snow for the Northern Rockies, Northern Plains, Upper Midwest, lake effect snow in the next 48 hours. Lake effect snow out here for Thanksgiving. Very cold air for much of us on Thanksgiving. It's going to be cold Thanksgiving evening with a little bit of a ridge out west, but that will be replaced quickly as we move into late November, early December with cold air and potentially some good snow for the Rockies. I post my video. I'll be potentially back on later. If not, I'll be back on with another video update on all my socials, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok tomorrow, and I'll be back on streaming. I appreciate all you. You guys are awesome. Have a great